There's nothing more painful in sports than watching greatness go out with a whimper. When we think of NBA legends, we picture the buzzer beaters, the championship parades, the farewell tours dripping with emotion. But for a lot of stars, even all-time greats, the end didn't come with cheers. It came with silence. No confetti, no standing ovation, just an empty locker, a waived contract, or an injury report that wouldn't go away. Some of these guys were MVPs, scoring champions, the face of video games, and the reason we fell in love with basketball in the first place. And yet, when it was all over, the league moved on. Quietly, brutally, sometimes without even saying goodbye. So today, we're digging deep into NBA players whose careers ended way worse than they deserved. From locker room scandals to body-breaking injuries, from forgotten comebacks to careers that just vanished. This is going to hit hard. And I want to hear from you too. While you're watching, drop a comment. Which one of these endings hurt you the most? Was it your favorite player, a guy you follow since high school, or maybe someone who never got the love they deserved? Let's break down the most heartbreaking NBA career endings of all time and why some legacies deserve way more than they got. Number 1, Carmelo Anthony, the forgotten farewell. Carmelo Anthony should have had a retirement tour. We're talking about a top 10 all-time scorer, a 10-time All-Star, and a cultural icon. But Melo's final NBA moment came in a meaningless loss with the Lakers. He averaged a respectable 13 points off the bench in 2022, but his defense was considered a liability, and the Lakers missed the playoffs entirely. There were rumors of a Knicks reunion. Melo wanted it, the players wanted it, even fans begged for it, but the front office said no. And just like that, a player who once carried Team USA and won a scoring title quietly stepped away in May 2023. The same year the Nuggets, the team that drafted him, reached their first NBA Finals. Talk about heartbreaking timing. Despite being a Hall of Fame lock and part of the 2025 class, the fact that Melo didn't get a farewell game or even a ceremonial signing stings. No ring, no send-off, just an Instagram post. For someone who gave nearly 2 decades to the game, that wasn't just quiet, it was disrespectful. Number 2, Tracy McGrady, what could have been. Tracy McGrady was once the walking bucket. 2-time scoring champ, 7-time All-Star, and a certified nightmare on the court. His peak with Orlando was pure dominance, but his teams couldn't make it past the first round. Then came the move to Houston, and the beginning of the end. Injuries hit hard and fast. Back spasms kept him in and out of the lineup, and by 2009, microfracture surgery on his knee changed everything. T-Mac bounced between New York, Detroit, Atlanta, and even China, trying to keep the dream alive. But his NBA career essentially ended with 0 points in San Antonio's 2013 playoff run. He made the Hall of Fame in 2017, and his early greatness absolutely earned that. But his career is a textbook case of potential sabotage by health. We'll always wonder what might have been if T-Mac had a healthy roster or a healthy body around him. 3, Deron Williams, a star who vanished. For a few years, Deron Williams was in the same conversation as Chris Paul, an elite floor general with size, control, and killer handles. But after a steep decline and a disastrous finals run in 2017, he simply disappeared. That season, Williams split time between the Mavericks and Cavaliers. He looked solid in the regular season, but in the NBA Finals, he completely vanished, averaging just 1 point a game, shooting barely 12% from the field, and missing every single free throw. A stunning collapse for a player who used to orchestrate entire offenses. There was no retirement press conference, no announcement, just silence. He eventually tried professional boxing in 2021 and beat Frank Gore, but even that didn't last. Deron went from one of the smartest point guards in the league to a ghost almost overnight. 4, Chris Bosh, a medical tragedy. Chris Bosh didn't just lose his career, he almost lost his life. After winning 2 titles in Miami and being an essential part of the Big Three, blood clots brought everything to a screeching halt. In 2015, clots were found in his lungs. In 2016, they returned, this time in his leg. Despite his drive to return, doctors made it clear, playing on blood thinners could be fatal. He kept pushing for a comeback, even trying to clear physicals for a return. But in 2017, league physicians called it. This was a career-ending condition. He officially stepped away in 2019, but hadn't played since 2016. There was no final game, no farewell season. Miami retired his jersey, and the Hall of Fame enshrined him in 2021, but Bosh was robbed of a proper ending. His talent, professionalism, and humility deserve more than a medical report and a quiet exit. 5, Allen Iverson, the loudest legend, the quietest exit. Allen Iverson was the face of an era. The cornrows, the swagger, the pound-for-pound toughest baller in the league. but his final NBA games couldn't have been more muted. After brief appearances in Memphis and a short-lived return to Philly in 2009, he was gone by February 2010. He never got that one last shot moment. No playoff run, no jersey retirement tour. He went overseas to play in Turkey, but didn't last long there either. When he announced his retirement in 2013, it felt like the league had already moved on, long before he had. Despite being a Hall of Famer and a four-time scoring champ, Iverson's exit didn't match his impact. He changed the game, but the game didn't return the favor on his way out. Steve Nash, all brains, nobody left. Steve Nash was supposed to chase a ring with the Lakers. Instead, his career ended in a fog of nerve damage and medical setbacks. After joining LA in 2012, Nash played only 65 total games over the next 2 years. The issue? A brutal nerve root irritation in his back and legs that just wouldn't go away. Every time he made a comeback, his body shut down again. By March 2015, after years of rehab and frustration, he officially retired with no last ride. 2 MVPs, over 10,000 assists, and a spot in the 50-40-90 club 4 times. Nash's resume is ridiculous, but the fact that it ended on the bench instead of the court, that still hurts. Number 7, Blake Griffin. From human highlight to afterthought. Blake Griffin once was Lob City. Explosive, creative, dominant. His early years were pure spectacle, but his knees betrayed him. After multiple surgeries and nagging injuries, his bounce disappeared, and so did his starting role. In Detroit, he had one last great season in 2019, averaging 24 points and dragging the Pistons to the playoffs. After that, a steep decline. He became a role player in Brooklyn and Boston, ending his final season averaging just 4 points per game. Griffin retired in 2024, quietly and without ceremony. He played 14 seasons, but the gap between his prime and his ending might be the widest in modern memory. Number 8, Isaiah Thomas, king in the 4th, ghost in the 5th. Isaiah Thomas wasn't just an underdog, he was a giant slayer. In 2017, he was averaging nearly 29 points for the Celtics and finished 5th in MVP voting. Then a hip injury completely derailed his career. He played through pain during the playoffs, and it only made things worse. After being traded to Cleveland, he bounced from team to team, never quite finding a permanent home. He dropped 40 in the G League in 2025 and kept trying to claw his way back, but the NBA never called for real. He averaged nearly 20 points over his career, yet ended with 10-day contracts and heartbreaking interviews. Thomas still wants to play, but the league doesn't want him back. That fall, absolutely brutal. Number 9, DeMarcus Cousins. No curtain call for Boogie. At his peak, DeMarcus Cousins was the most feared big man in the league. Raw power, soft touch, and pure intensity. But injuries stole everything. After tearing his Achilles in 2018, he never fully recovered. He had solid runs with Milwaukee and Denver, even dropping 30 points in limited playoff minutes. But after the Nuggets got bounced, no teams called. He officially retired in 2024 after nearly 2 years out of the league. Boogie finished with 2010 averages and 4 All-Star nods, but no playoff success and no ring. 10. Gilbert Arenas, Yao Ming and Company. A gallery of heartbreak. Some careers don't crash, they just dissolve. Gilbert Arenas went from all-NBA sniper to suspended pariah after the locker room gun incident. Yao Ming, his body just couldn't hold up, missing over 250 games before retiring. Guys who were supposed to headline finals runs or reinvent franchises. Instead, they spent their final years riding benches, getting DNPs, or struggling to get one last chance. Whether it was injuries, timing, or a league that moved on too fast, these endings weren't fair. They were quiet, awkward, and sometimes straight up sad. Great players deserve great exits, but in the NBA, that's not always how it works. And that's the list. The all-time scorers, the playoff killers, the walking highlights, and how, somehow, their careers ended in silence. No fanfare, no ceremony, no justice. It's a reminder that in the NBA, the spotlight fades fast. And it doesn't matter if you were once the man. When the game decides you're done, you're done. But that doesn't mean we forget. Carmelo still got buckets. T-Mac still gave us 13 points in 33 seconds. Isaiah Thomas still made us believe in 5'9" giants. And Boogie made the paint feel like a war zone. They might not have walked out the way they deserved, but their moments, their impact, that's forever. Now, it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think had the most heartbreaking ending? Whose career deserved a better send-off? And if you play 2K, who's still in your lineup, even if the league gave up on them? And if you want more deep dives like this, weird NBA stories, what-ifs, behind-the-scenes drama, or just honest basketball talk, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications. New videos every week. This is Buckets Unfiltered. Thanks for watching. And remember, some legacies don't end, they echo. Peace.